Lab 1 Field Investigation Kit, Elizabeth Edmondson. So I decided to put it in this giant Tupperware container because it's pretty heavy duty and has a locking lid, and it's like really easy to carry. Yeah, I just barely fit everything in here, but here we go. So starting off, I put a clipboard here with a sketchbook so I could sketch out the scene, and also I could use this for taking photo evidence if I needed a nice white background. And in terms of taking photos, I don't have a separate camera, but I would just use my cell phone camera at this point. I think having a separate camera would be ideal though. And then this just represents all the forms I would need. So it's just like a nice folder that you can have everything separated and labeled. You can start filling out forms. And then I also have all my utensils right at the top here. So I have permanent markers and pen and mechanical pencils, regular pencils, and a pencil sharpener and erasers. I have hand sanitizer as well right at the top. And then some labeling items. So I didn't have pre-made labels, but you'd want pre-made labels just so you don't forget anything important in terms of information like date or location. And then I have my standardized police notebook in there as well. And yeah, just different size label cards. And you'd also want various ways to attach the labels. I don't have various ways. And then something I'd also want would be different types of tape. So I don't have any tape in this house for some reason, not sure why, but I would have liked duct tape, masking tape, electrical tape, and then the evidence tape as well. And then I have a thermometer here. This is just a meat thermometer, but so that'd be good for taking body temperature, but I'd also like an environmental temperature gauge for air and for water. I have a soft toothbrush here and a small hand trowel just for any stuff that's really dirty. Let's say I'm digging something slightly out of the ground. It's going to kind of sort of help remove some of that dirt. And then a compass to help with the sketches, just to make the side sketch really accurate. Can also help with angles and that sort of thing. I have a couple measuring sticks here. These are 12 inches. A dissection kit. So this has a scalpel with multiple blades and a smaller measuring stick here as well. This is 6 inches. And then there's some different tweezers in here. They're both metal though. So yeah, so I'd want some plastic ones just so that I could pick up shells without damaging them. And then also I've got scissors here. This is these are more delicate scissors for like thin skin and that sort of thing. Then I have a larger knife here. This is for the less delicate work like skinning and yeah, just keeping it sharp, and that's pretty decent for skinning, I would say. A filleting knife would be good too. I just don't have one. And then this is just a pull-through sharpener to keep it nice and sharp. It's pretty easy to use in the field. And then this is a saw blade. If I need to cut off a head or a leg or something, or it also saws through roots if I had to dig through roots, I guess. This is disinfectant antibacterial spray. That could be used on all the equipment after it gets dirty, so it's ready for next time. And it's just a glass jar for liquids. And then I also put a couple tea towels in here just for anything that's really fragile that might need to get wrapped, like maybe the glass jars if I'm going on like a bumpy road or something like that. And then this is sort of representing my evidence bag, so I have different size Ziplocs here, and yeah, I could label these and seal them with tape if I had tape. I also have some field guides to help with ID, so birds, mammals, fish. I probably have these in my truck anyways, but just leave them in there. A couple more specialized tools. Flagging tape to help mark the site as well. They're good for photos. Headlamp, probably will be working at night at times. And then this is just a small, powerful light that I can click on and set up just to create shadows and take better photos. Some needle nose pliers, just for the stuff that's harder to grasp. A lighter, honestly not sure why I threw that in there, just I guess for something, I don't know. Always good to have a lighter. Fabric scissors, if I need to cut through fabric, you need extra sharp, good scissors for that. These are just from my fly fishing kit. They like clip and grasp on, so they might be good to pick out something that's really slippery, but you also have to find, so that's usually used for hooks. X-Acto knife, nice and sharp, can be sanitized, and then a multi-tool just for anything else you might need. And a rope for measuring things that are not straight, and maybe like larger items as well. Paper bag, that would be for evidence that you don't want to get moldy because it's kind of damp. I'd probably have like multiple paper bags, but I just have the one at the moment. And then the opposite of that, I have a dry sack here, and that could be used for keeping evidence dry. It's actually gets pretty big, and let's say it's like pouring rain and you don't have a good place to put it, so this will keep it dry. You're in the field. And then envelopes would be really good as well for evidence, but I didn't have that, but I had these folders, paper folders. Should be kind of used as evidence envelopes. You'd ideally want different sizes. And then garbage bags, black garbage bags, helps protect from UV, and they're large, so you can put in large items in there. Deer parts, whatever. And then I have some bigger measuring tapes. I'd like to have 100-meter measuring tape, which would be better for like measuring the crime scene and taking photos. And then I have some extra batteries for my headlamp. And then if I had a GPS, I'd also have extra batteries for that, and same with a camera if I had a camera. All things that would be nice to have in my kit. Just a smaller measuring tape for fish and for diameters. And then some string just for the finer measurements that aren't straight. And last but not least, I have a series of containers and vials here. So, yeah, and a couple other things. A mask, because you need those these days. There's an instant cold pack in case you need to keep something cold. This has paper towel, keep something moist or dry. Same with the gauze pads here. And then tongue depressors if I need to scrape something off that was a little bit more delicate for evidence. And then alcohol pads to sanitize scalpel blades or tweezers. And then just some UV proof plastic containers. And it's just a clear plastic in case the glass isn't good. Yeah, and here's a smaller glass one. I showed a larger one before. And gloves, rubber gloves, and nitrile gloves, and a really small plastic container. And it's all inside this larger plastic container. So yeah, that's everything in there. And then just a couple extra things. You mentioned that we probably have a safety vest in our truck anyways. And then likely we'd have binos and a rangefinder, which would be really useful to have, just to really survey the scene, and then the rangefinder too, just to help kind of measure everything. And then hard shell rifle case is for any seizures, and a cooler, just to keep evidence from spoiling in really hot weather. Yeah, so that's everything. Thanks.